the whole house fans. Okay, so this one for the a little older house, maybe 1980, 1990, around that time. So just before the HRV come out, so they use like the whole house fan like this. So normally just in the basement, yeah. So one side connect to the outside. So this insulated should connect to the outside. Another side like a sheet metal pipe. This normally connect to all the washroom. Yeah, so these whole house fans normally only connect to the washroom only. Yeah, not like the HRV. Sometimes they connect to the kitchen. Yeah, so sometimes living room. Yeah, but whole house fans. I saw the whole house fan. So normally only the exhaust fan for the exhaust fan for the washroom. Yeah, so there's a easy just a disconnect here, and you can saw the motor inside. This motor is need a service too. So because it's lots of dirt collect there. Yeah, so maybe will cause if you didn't clean, maybe will cause the motor overheated and then burned.
I can make a quick note for these whole house fans, Sam. So
Okay.
again, depending on your jurisdiction, guys, you might find them in the late 90s to mid 2000 homes. That's kind of when there was another big push for energy efficiency. And like Sam mentioned, there's a few different ways to configure these systems. So a lot of times you might see the switch for it. It may be called that air exchanger, whole house fan, primary air exchanger. You might see that switch by the thermostat. You might find it in the pantry closet or somewhere in the kitchen. And the intake ports can be found in different locations. Like Sam said, sometimes if you turn on, you might see that white cone, which may be found in the kitchen, may be found in like a main living space. And sometimes some areas did allow actually for the main bathroom. So we say it's upstairs, the main bathroom fan would actually engage instead of having like a dedicated intake port in somewhere on the main floor. So again, it really is dependent on your area and the jurisdiction requirements. So just something to be aware of. This is kind of pre the HRVs when they really took off. I mean, the HRVs have been around, I think, since the 50s. I think 60s is when they actually were invented in Saskatchewan, but they really didn't take off, like Sam said, in the last few years.
Yeah, so even so, the little older house, then you can see the whole house fan. So there may be a duct just directly from outside to the retain air duct. So there's no fan, only a duct. So that's a fresh air. Yeah. So and this one is there's a fan there inside. Okay. So here, so looks is in the living room or kitchen. So there's a the vent here. Yeah. So this one. So normally, for example, if we build the house, we run the HRV there. So they will connect to the HRV, the still air intake. Yeah. So this one is a round vent. So, but sometimes you see the the new house around the kitchen. So there's a square grill. So if the square grill is very close to the range hood, so normally I think I can't remember it's 3 feet or 6 feet. So if it's pretty close to the range hood, so we needed a filter inside, like a grease filter for the range hood. We needed a filter inside. So if it's far from the range hood, we don't need. We just need like this is okay. Yeah. So Alex, do you know the building code about that?
Sorry, I was just responding to a message. Could you repeat it again, Sam?
Yeah. So you see this like this vent.
Mm-hmm.
So normally it's like the new house, the HRV vent close to the kitchen. So I remember, so I can't remember exactly distance. Look like maybe 3 feet from the range hood. If around there, so they need a grease filter inside the
Yeah, typically a range would actually require its own dedicated exhaust. But yeah, like you said, if it is venting any sort of cooking exhaust. It absolutely needs a grease catch, absolutely. But generally, you'd have a direct overhood range exhaust fan for a gas-fired appliance.
Yeah. So I think I remember the building code should be required the distance from the range hood. Yeah, but I can't remember exactly. So how far from there? Yeah, okay, but it doesn't matter. So you will see the the rectangular grill just around the kitchen. So that should be the HRV went there. Yeah. So normally the the kitchen and the washroom, the HRV vent should be suction, so suck in, so not blow out. Okay. So that should be no.
And that's a really good point. Maybe I can add to that too, Sam. So like Sam mentioned, when you guys actually turn on the exhaust fans, whether it's the bathroom fans, HRV, whole house fan, dryer vents, do make a mental note in your head how many fans you actually turn on, and then go outside and confirm that the flaps are actually opening and exhausting air, because a lot of times you're going to find the HRVs are installed backwards. Sometimes I think with building science with Daryl, we know there was nests inside the exhaust fan. Some of them were C-shut, screwed shut, whatever it is. So again, just be mindful to actually count the termination points. And just because you see a flap open, it doesn't actually mean that it's exhausting. Maybe frozen open, or it could be seized open. So typically you want to put your hand on it. Sometimes if the exhaust vent is extremely high up, and say it's the winter time, if you have a thermal camera, a really easy cheat code is to take a thermal camera and just shoot towards the vent, and you should see 10, 15 degrees Celsius heat coming out of that.
Okay. Yeah. So for the humidifier, so not a lot of not all the house has a humidifier. Yeah, but we should know the different size like this. Yeah. So drum type. Yeah. So this one just water in the pan and use like the flow switch. So and if the water used up, and then will be filled the water. Yeah. So this one not normal now. And this whole house bypass water, the humidifier. Yeah, so this is normal, we can see. Yeah, but everything like the humidifier, doesn't matter what kind, is normally trouble is a water leak. Okay, yeah, so we have to check around the humidifier if there is a leak, and if the this material is too dirty, if this needs to be changed. And sometimes if there's a lot of skill inside and block the the fill in or the some parts there, so it need to be cleaned. Maybe just change a new humidifier. Yeah. So and another thing we should know is all the humidifier normally we only use in the winter time. So winter time, so the humidity stat. So there's the settings. So there's a different number there. We should know. We cannot just like the the thermostat put a 22 degree there and never change. Yeah. So if you want a comfortable, so you should change the humidity stat setting by the temperature of outside temperature. Yeah. So if it's pretty cold, maybe you need to set the humidity stat to 15%. If it's outside it's warm, maybe you need to set higher, like 40, 50. Yeah, so this depends on the temperature. But normally on the humidity stat, so will be a scale there. So and beside the scale, it will tell. So how many temperature outside the house, and what's the humidity stat you will set. Yeah, so that's just a regular know is okay. Common humidifier defects. This one is normally we met the problem. Yeah, so the solenoid valve is rusted, and sometimes lots of skill there, and in fact it cannot control. So sometimes even we cannot hear the click when we the power on. So it's still blocked inside. So that time, so we need to change the the solenoid valve. Yeah. So and sometimes like here is water dripping. Yeah. So that's a big trouble. So normally, so for the humidifier, so the rust is a big problem.